You're listening to the Trim Radio Network. We cut the bull and serve the truth.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah. Fishing in Florida. Oh yeah. I'm fishing in
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. It is truly a pleasure to have you join us and allow us to share with you some of the goodies that we find during the week with regards to fishing, all kinds of information regarding fishing. I'm waiting just a minute before I bring on my co-host. She's doing a little bit of work for me in the background. In the meantime, let me give you a little bit of lowdown. We are on the WTRM radio network every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. A variety of ways you can listen to us. If you have the TuneIn app, well, then you can go to Marina Rock Radio. Marina Rock is on the TuneIn app, and Marina Rock is generous enough to allow us to use their servers on Sunday mornings, so that's another place that you can find us. So if you got the TuneIn app, go to Marina Rock and you'll find us there. If you're on the web, just go to our home network. There's a couple of places you can go to. Our home network on the web, which is WTRMradio.com, or you can go to fishinginfloridashow.com. And if you're on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook page, Fishing in Florida, and click on Contact Us, and that'll get you on the live server. The easiest of all the ways, and the way that we hope that you would end up is download our app. It's absolutely free. The app is only available for the Androids right now. Working on, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, we're working on iPhones, but right now it's available for the Androids, absolutely free. There's no adware, there's no spyware, there's no push notifications. It's just the easiest way to listen to the network with a wide variety of shows on our network. And again, a big thank you to Marina Rock Radio, who allows us Sunday mornings to utilize their service and their airwaves, and we get the fun of sharing our show with their listeners. So big thank you to you guys. With regard to the weather, we have activity all over the place, scattered activity everywhere. So it's going to be on and off with the showers today. Just have to keep your eyes open. The seas look good. According to NOAA, the seas are going to be 2 to 3 feet. Looks pretty good to me. The winds will be out of the southeast, somewhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour. The tides, the low tide has already happened at midnight. Next low tide is 6:11, next high tide 6:11 this morning, so we're in the process of a high tide now. The next low tide is going to be at 12:21, so right around lunchtime. The fish will probably take a break. And then the next high tide will be 6:53 tonight. Beach conditions are good. Just again, be aware that some of the beaches have rocks, so just be aware of that. And the rip currents are very mild, so they're out there, but they're very mild. So just remember, when all that water comes in, all those waves come in, they got to go back out somewhere. And where they are going back out is where you don't want to be. In the meantime, let me welcome my co-host, who is Carolyn. And Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome, my dear.
Well, good morning to everybody on this gorgeous Sunday morning.
I can tell she's still dragging.
Well, we had a long day yesterday fishing a ladies tournament. So, yeah, we're dragging. We were up at 4:30 yesterday morning.
So you did the fishing tournament yesterday. Let's talk a little bit about that. How did that go?
Well, sure. So we did the ladies fish-off yesterday. It was the 35th year down here in Pompano Beach. Forrest fished with the Florida Salty Cowgirl, Angelia. And the boat that we were on was a beautiful 61-foot boat. However, it had a bait live well failure and no air conditioning. So we had to pass on all of our live bait, meaning we missed half the opportunities to kite fish and do some of these things that like Mike Simko talks about. And we had no reprieve from the heat with a very, very hot, a place to go inside and get out of the sun. So a little difficulty. We got one beautiful sailfish, one big fat bonita. Nothing to the scales, unfortunately, but, had a really, really good time as always.
Gino Charters out of Boynton, I think he is, the Gino V, or the Gino 5, but it's a V, like a Roman numeral 5. They caught a 180-pound tuna off of the coast, right here off of Boynton Beach. 180 pounds. Fought it for over 3 hours. They fought with this thing. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
What a nice catch
that's
that.
That's a pretty nice fight, and the fact that they, I don't know, did they get it to the boat without getting attacked by sharks?
Yeah, they have pictures of it. They actually got it back all in one piece. I shouldn't laugh, but that's because it's really irritating. You're out there, you catch something like that, and you feel it pulling and pulling. All of a sudden, it's like half of what it was. What happened? And then you pull it up, and of course, they leave you the head. They take everything else, and they leave, or they take a big chunk right out of the stomach area. That's another favorite spot. So, yeah, no, they got the whole thing. 180-pound tuna. Unbelievable. I thought that was awesome. So a big congrats to Gino V on the Gino V Charters. So you guys didn't get to the scales. Sounds like you had to rough it.
I'll tell you, yeah, we did have to rough it. It was a little bit a rough seas, and I'll tell you, one of the girls had a little mishap. She was sitting on the back deck, kind of watching everything, and she took a little slip and fell face first on the deck of the boat.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
had a good egg on her head and her nose, so she unfortunately had to sit the day out, but she had no place cold to go, and we just make sure we kept icing her. But it's still dangerous out there, and when it ges real rocky, and you just lose your footing. So definitely have to wear good shoes when you do that. But we did go to the weigh-in. We did drive to the weigh-in. And there were some beautiful fish being weighed. There were a lot of tuna, mahi. What else did we see? Kingfish were like 30 pounds. The biggest dolphin was only 8 pounds at the time we went. But there were about 12 more boats that were going to be weighing in. So, the girls did a great job. There were some really excited girls that were weighing in yesterday.
Excellent.
And a lot of a benefit to the Flight Center, which is a foster care outfit that we donate to, and the Billfish Foundation, a Wounded Warrior. So I think we did well. I think there were over 50 boats. Wow.
And let's give credit to the boat. What was the name of the boat that you're on?
Sure. We were on the Clueless 2. The gentleman who owns it actually ran the boat for us, and it was kind of funny, Riscala. He basically gave us the boat and then said, hey, I'm really tired. I'm going to go inside and take a nap. And he just let the girls do whatever we needed to do. So Angela ran the boat for hours. We had a couple male mates that were fun, but she was in heaven. She'll tell us about that later on.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And we sent you some photos during the day. We'll post them up. We got some good video of me fighting a big bonita. And Carol, of course, from Mermaid Vodka was on a beautiful sailfish for 3 minutes.
Awesome. And pictures of that yacht the yacht is gorgeous. I'm sad to hear that they didn't have the amenities working like they should be, but the yacht is just gorgeous. I hear Robert
totally donated. Yep, totally
and
donated.
I'll donate. I think that's awesome. See, that just shows the spirit of the fishing community here. That, I'm guessing, but I think I'm fairly accurate when I tell you that yacht's over $1 million.
Absolutely,
yeah.
It is, because it's for sale, and actually because they have another one that's bigger, and it was, and then they put about 300 gallons of fuel on it, $5. So they filled it with $1,000 of fuel, and didn't even charge us.
Yeah, that's awesome. A big thank you to those people who do that kind. I mean, that's just that's as generous as you can be. Let me welcome Robert.
Sure.
Robert is now with the New World Angler magazine. Welcome, Robert.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Are we officially the New World Angler now?
We are.
Hot dog. Congratulations. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Good morning,
sorry,
Carolyn.
Robert. No, hey, Robert. Good morning. Actually, I was doing a little homework as Riscala had said. It looks like we have a guest that can call in at 8:25, so that works out well. So we got that spot filled. But hi, Robert.
Good morning, everybody.
It sounds like the three of us are just. Go ahead, Robert.
As the Skippers tournament running down in the Keys.
Oh.
Looks like they had a good day out there yesterday.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about it.
All I know is my friend Don De Leon sent me some pictures from what he caught. He caught about a 40-pound bull yesterday.
Oh, my.
He was pretty happy.
So a 40-pound bull, how old do you think that is, Carolyn? Would you say it was 2 inches a week these things grow? 3 inches a week?
Yeah, I think
About three.
2 inches a week is the growth. So that's still a juvenile fish, but boy, he
Good
grew pretty
gravy.
quick.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine something grows 2 inches a week? I'm glad humans don't grow 2 inches a week.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we were looking at what the kingfish grow, I think Angela told us very, very slow. So some of these big kings are 20, 30 years old.
Oh, my gosh. Go ahead, Robert.
In fact, my son's feet grew like that when he was little.
I've seen kids that you think they grew up next to the one of the power plants, the nuclear plants. They've been exposed to some kind of radiation or something. Well, did you get to do any fishing yourself, Robert?
I did not. I've been on the phone with people trying to get the magazine, coordinated with people that we're not used to working with, and some other things, but it's working, so we're getting there.
What a challenge! And is it actually out now? Or are you still in the background waiting?
No, it won't be done until June 23rd.
Okay, well that's
This is
something.
my birthday, so.
And we have to remember that.
And the day before Carolyn's birthday.
Yeah, I have to remember that. Kind of try to burn that into the firmware of my mind so it doesn't go away. It's one of those.
Well, we're gonna share our birthday week together.
There you go, all week long.
Yep.
Hot dog.
Yep.
I like that. Awesome. Well, are any now Carolyn and I were talking about the ladies fish off. Any other tournaments that you're aware of other than the one down in the Keys you're talking
Just
about?
that Skipper's tournament that's going on that Don sent me the pictures from yesterday. That one's going on, and I believe it's in Isla Morada. And I know that the one that was canceled last year, the one that Jaw Lures was doing, is coming up in July sometime. And that one will be out of the Worldwide Sportsman in Isla Morada. So.
Oh wow, Carolyn, how many people ended up in the tournament?
Well, they were about 50 boats, but we do it by registered anglers. I think we had 150 registered female anglers,
Wow.
and a bunch of young peewees too. It was great. I mean, what the funniest thing we did was we did a dance off for a dozen goggle eyes at the captain's party, and I'll have to post some video. It is hysterical. Goggle eyes for our listeners are bait fish that we use, and they cost about $100 per dozen. So when we did a dance off at the captain's party, everyone got up there to dance. It was pretty fun.
That would be a great video, I'm sure. So
I'm looking forward to seeing
hysterical.
that. Had they already been treated to a couple of drinks before?
Yes, and purposely. We had Floridicana rum, donated all the rum drinks for the captain's party, so we sent all the people that were participating to get lots and lots of shots. And it was funny. There's one woman that can't even move her feet, but her hands and body moved. It was hysterical.
Okay, now you got to put
you're
a copy.
afraid you might fall. Yeah.
We got to get a copy of that up. Got to see that. That's got to be a riot there now.
Oh, total riot. I'll post a few of them, absolutely. And then who else danced for the dog and did a great job was Tanya from Sea Spook Baits. Since I've been helping mentor her, she had to put together a female team. They made it to the scales. She ran by me and gave me a big hug. She was so excited and actually caught her own fish on her own bait that she made.
Hot dog. Did we have her on before? The name sounds familiar.
We did. She was she's a woman-owned business. She moved from Utah to here a couple years ago, and she actually makes baits in her garage. And her husband helps her, and she goes and delivers them. She makes custom baits with different skirts, and she's a startup, but she's really promoting her company well. And I was so proud of her when I saw her team. But she and her girls did the dance off, so we'll put her video up.
That'll be good. That'll be something.
I'm sure she'll be thrilled about that. So.
Well, what the funny part of her video was the captain actually got in and danced. So there's a man in there that's doing some bumping and grinding. It's pretty funny. And when you see the guys get in and dance, that's when it gets really funny.
Wow. Well, that'll be a sight to see, so I'm looking forward to that. Anything planned for in the future, Robert? You're going to be doing any fishing coming up this week? You got anything planned going down like to the Keys? Or?
No, after June 23rd, I will be fishing. So.
Oh, you're dedicated
June
completely.
23rd, I will be doing nothing but working on this magazine, and after that, I intend to go fishing because this magazine only comes out every 3 months, so I can take some time and go do what I want.
Oh, that's right.
So.
It's going to be different. I remember you saying that.
Yep.
So having it come out every 3 months, I'm sure it's going to be. How much bigger is this than the Florida Fisherman magazine? Three
Well,
times?
not necessarily bigger, but I think there'll be a lot less advertising in the beginning,
Mhm.
and because ads are not free in this one, so and but it should be about the same amount of pages, just more content.
Great. I'm looking forward to that.
Less advertising, more content at the beginning. So
Excellent.
as
Well,
they
looking-
start adding the ads, it'll just get bigger. So
And June the 22nd?
23rd.
23rd, June the 23rd, it'll be available. So now, did you get newworldangler.com or is it still Florida Fisherman?
It's .org.
.org.
It's newworldangler.org, but I am going to continue using the FL Fish Mag email addresses because everybody has them for people sending in content.
Yep.
So that
Are
will stay
you
the
gonna-
same for a while.
Are you going to keep the flfishmag.com web?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
have
both
that.
websites will remain.
Yeah, have that point to your new website. You can do that. And
It will.
Yeah,
It will
so-
definitely do that, and it will continue to have some stuff from Florida in it. And
That's
just
great.
on
I'm,
the website, though. It won't
I'm
be
looking
a
forward to
magazine,
seeing
so.
it because the Florida Fisherman magazine was just cram-packed full of all kinds of stories from all over. Some very, very beautiful young women in there. The thing that I like about it being digital is that you can stick the videos in there. It doesn't have to be just pictures. You know, you can see them actually doing what they're doing, whoever that might be. And that's awesome. You have of course you have audio. You can do different things with the audio, but I really got a kick out of the ability to put all the different formats, pictures, videos, audio, and all in one place. And unlike a printed copy of the thing, it goes much, much deeper, two more dimensions even, than the printed thing. So I'm looking forward to the New World Angler.
Yeah, people ask all the time if there's ever going to be a paper version of it, and no, there is not, because it would never translate to paper. So
Yeah. How are you going to put a video on paper? Well, you know, they may come up here sometime soon. They may figure out how to do that. I've heard all kinds of things about technology. It's supposed to take a gigantic leap here in the next 2 years. We're supposed to really blow our minds, so they say. We'll see what happens.
well, if they can do that, I will go to paper. If they can put a video in a paper book, I'll do it.
Yep.
So,
Well, they're talking about all kinds of crazy things. I haven't heard about that, but some other stuff that would knock your socks off. That's supposed to be coming up. And we'll find out. It's it's one of those things where the story comes out ahead of time, and sometimes it's accurate, and sometimes it's not so accurate. Well, it's going to be a
the other
pretty
thing
good.
I'm noticing the last few days is if you're out there fishing, look for the manta rays.
Oh,
Big manta rays are out there swimming around, and there's cobia underneath them. So.
Oh, wow. Isn't that wild how they have a symbiotic relationship like that? I've heard other people, I've never seen it, but I've heard other people tell me that. When you see the manta rays, you'll see some cobias around as well.
Absolutely.
And I don't think I saw any cobias at the scales yesterday. I'll have to see what the results were. But it was a kind of a really rough, weird kind of day. But yeah, we'll have to check and see what they actually
the
final
pictures have
stats were.
just started coming in the last few days. Is the first I've seen of it. So.
And I read,
Wow.
I don't know if it's on, I think maybe on the West Coast. I can't remember. It was early in the week. The mullet migration was one of the strongest they've seen in the last several years. I think that was on the West Coast. I may be wrong, but so that's a good sign. That means if we got plenty of bait fish coming in, that means you know what's going to follow the bait fish. So if it was the West Coast, they're going to be kicking over there. Have you heard about mullet migration on this side, Robert? Anything on that?
I have not seen anything on the mullet run yet, but the mullet run, the big fall mullet run is the one that I normally see. But this one should be starting. It actually should start on the East Coast, not the West Coast, too. But I'm not sure.
So
I
it
haven't
may
seen
have been the
any
East Coast that I
reports
was
about it at all. So
maybe it was the East Coast I was reading about. I don't remember. I can tell you as a young teenager, growing up in Coral Gables, they have saltwater canals. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. There were times where I could stand on a bridge literally put a hook on a line, and nothing more than a hook on a line, drop it down in the water and hook one of these mullet. They would be literally so thick you could almost walk on top of them. I don't see anything like that
I've seen them
anymore.
like that. Yep.
Yeah, don't see anything like that anymore.
I have
That was
seen
awesome.
them like that when I was little.
Yep. I mean, just literally, it looked like land. If you looked at it from the right angle, it would look like land because they were so thick from top to bottom. Now, the canals that I'm talking about they're typically 12 feet deep. You can imagine a thickness of 12 feet because they went all the way down to the bottom. And they would just swim against the current. The current typically would be going out, and they would be swimming against the current. And I don't know why they particularly liked around the bridges. I don't know what it was about the bridges, but they would hang out around the bridges, and it was just literally hundreds and maybe thousands of them. That's just some of the things that I used to see as a kid. I don't see anything like that anymore. The closest I saw was in the picture.
No, I'm actually old enough that I saw mahi inside the Hillsborough Inlet.
You were telling me that.
In the Intercoastal.
That would freak me out. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. Yeah, I remember.
Well, I'll tell you what's crazy where I am. You all know that I live on a canal in Deerfield, but you were speaking about the mullet. They come into this canal so thick, and then what happens is the predator fish come in right behind them and force them into the walls of the canal, and it's like bubbling water, like you were boiling a tea kettle. It's pretty amazing, but yeah, that's a pretty cool thing to, then you just flip your rod out and you just catch little skipjacks and things like that. But yeah, it's an exciting time of year. I mean, people are getting out more, and the weather's, seas are a little bit different because we're getting into the summer months, and
it's supposed to be good today. Supposed to be good for the boating today. What kind of predator fish do you see there, Carolyn?
In our canal, we have a lot of jacks, little amberjacks, actually some pretty ferocious ones. We have a barracuda every once in a while that comes in. There was a time we had saltwater crocodile. That was once. But what else do we have in here? A lot of great little snapper around the pilings here. I usually put all my scrap food from dinner right in the canal and create my little aquarium we've talked about before. A lot of snook. We got a neighbor has a snook light next door. But the jacks are great. They're ferocious. Yeah,
they're a heck of a fight. The reason I ask you is that I was curious if you were experiencing what again, back in my younger days, whatever was in the bay, we would find in the canals. Even every once in a while, we'd find a porpoise in a canal. But we would find just about, other than, oh my gosh, there was a sailfish in the canal one time, snook all over the place, just about everything, snappers, groupers. We call them shiners, or shad. I don't know if that's the correct name. These big silver, they look like shiners, but big fish. And so I was curious if you were seeing some barracuda as well. Shark, we saw a shark one time. Little shark, not a big shark. But just about everything that was in the bay would come into the canal. So it was pretty awesome. You could catch just depending upon what was there at the time. I caught, my favorites were the grouper. They were easy to catch, and I would catch as many of them as I could. They weren't very big, maybe a couple of pounds at the most, but they were great eating, I'll tell you. And I went back and looked at that canal probably 5 years ago. It was really sad to see what has happened, how poorly they have treated the water in the area and how it has deteriorated. And the fish that were in there, they didn't even look like, I don't know, just weird-looking fish, not what I saw as a kid. Major changes. Sad. All right, we are ready for another break, so we're going to do that. Before we do that, I want to give Robert an opportunity to give us, one more time, the website. And if people want to send in pictures or story, I guess since it's every 3 months, are you going to be compiling it for 3 months, Robert?
Yep, absolutely.
So they'll have
send anything they want to send to pages at flfishmag.com, and if it works, we will get it in the magazine.
There you go. And the new magazine will be available on the 23rd. Until then, of course, you can go to www.flfishmag.com and see the current edition of the Florida Fisherman magazine. Congratulations, my friend. I'm happy for you, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time to share with us in the mornings, on Sunday mornings. Wish you an awesome day. You going to go to the park today?
We are. We'll be headed out here shortly, so.
Well, God bless you.
It's too hot.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Y'all have a great day.
God bless. Go ahead, Carolyn.
You too, Robert. We'll definitely get you some vids from yesterday.
So long.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Fish Florida! Fishing Florida!
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Club, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Club has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Club. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. 'Cause I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah, fishing in Florida.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back, and time is just flying away. That's what happens when we do this show. Time just seems to completely fly away. This morning, I've got Carolyn with Atlas Trax, and, if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn. She's got her phone on mute.
Oh no, I don't, Riscala.
Well, I'm gonna.
I won't say I had it on mute, but absolutely, I love being here on Sunday with you and the listeners, especially after a fishing day.
And I can tell you're waking up now.
Couple couple jumping jacks, never hurt anybody.
This is the first morning, and I can't tell you how long, I'm actually drinking coffee. I usually don't drink coffee at all, but this morning I am because I was up rather late last night, beyond my normal time. I didn't get to bed till about 2 o'clock last night. I was dealing with a bunch of problems on my computer, and we weren't going to be able to do the show unless I resolved the problem, so had to get all that done. In the meantime, I'm going to let you introduce our next guest.
So actually, we have Stephanie Lynn on the phone right now. She is calling in from the Bahamas, and she has an amazing story how she gave up corporate life, and she's traveling around the Bahamas and setting all kinds of amazing spearfishing records.
Yeah. She's an amazing young lady. Welcome, Miss Stephanie.
Hi, thank you. Good morning.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, what island are you calling us from today?
Today I'm at Clarencetown, Long Island, so the southern Bahamas.
How awesome is
Way
that?
far out. So how many miles for our listeners is that from the U.S. coast?
Ooh, it is a hike. It is definitely a hike. I'd say from the U.S., from Nassau, it's about a 4-day sail.
Oh, my goodness.
So we're looking at like 5-6 days from the U.S.
That's wonderful.
One of the things I so adore about this young lady is that she's such an inspiration. And Carolyn, you kind of alluded to it, how she was in the corporate world and she had a dream and she decided to follow her dream. And now she's literally living her dream. What an inspiration to other young women who are out there, because sadly, we have what people call role models who are anything but that. Here's an individual who worked in the corporate industry, knew what was going on there, decided that wasn't what was for her, had the bravery, I can't think of the right word, the courage. She had the courage to step out and rely on herself. And, you're an amazing young lady. I can't say enough positive things about you. I tell my daughters about you. They're probably close to your age. And just the amazing story that you have. So some of the things that you do, again, when I say amazing, I'm not exaggerating. This young lady goes and swims with sharks, 12-foot sharks, 12-foot tiger sharks, pets sharks like a dog. Spearfishes out in the open ocean. Will spearfish out in the open ocean, and she doesn't do it with tanks. She does it off. What do they call it, Stephanie? Free diving.
Yep, free diving.
And you teach this, is that right?
I do. Yep, I'm a free dive instructor through Patty.
And you have a catamaran, which was part of your dream to live on a ship. And do you accept guests on the catamaran? Do you invite people on the catamaran? I mean, is it something that you charter? I'm not real clear about that part of it.
Yeah, so I got my foreign charter permit last year, and I invite people on board. It's my home, so I'm pretty selective with who comes on board, but it's been such an amazing experience with the people who've come on board, because I'm very honest about what the experience is like. So it's definitely not luxury. You're not going to get turn down service or chocolate on your pillow, but it's a 46-foot sailing catamaran. So I do have 4 berths and 4 heads, so 4 bedroom, 4 bathroom. I have a galley, which is a kitchen, and a living room, which we call a salon. And it's kind of like a little floating condo. Right now, I have the air conditioning running, so living in luxury. I have an ice maker, and then people who come on board really, like it's not too bad out here. And last night we had a movie night, so I put a big projector screen, and my table folds down into this massive couch, and we watched a movie. But the people who come on board all kind of have the same goals and the same mission. They want to check off their bucket list. They want to push their boundaries and do things they didn't think were possible. So they want to learn how to free dive and hold their breath and dive down to 50 feet just holding their breath and experience the marine wildlife that way. They want to overcome fear of sharks by being face to face with them. They want to learn how to sustainably harvest their own seafood. So they want to learn how to pole spear or use Hawaiian sling to spear a fish. And then I teach them how to fillet it. And then we do make your own sushi night. So, and my goal right now is just to have people experience the Bahamas the authentic way. So as much through the eyes of locals as possible. I partner with a lot of locals here, and people can swim with pigs and feed iguanas and see sea turtles and go hiking and do shipwreck dives and all what the Bahamas has to offer.
That's
and then
so awesome.
Next year I'm going to start my circumnavigation. So I'm going to start sailing around the world.
Oh, my
I'm gonna go over to
gosh.
Panama and the Galapagos. Yeah. So big plans to come.
Oh, my goodness. Why? Now, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. And I know if anybody could do it, you could do it. I have no doubt in my mind. That is going to be awesome, Stephanie. Congratulations. So you're preparing now for that. And how long do you think that'll take for you to go around, all the way around?
All the way around, I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going to race around. I don't have any time constraint that I want to get back for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take my time, maybe 2 to 3 years.
Holy smokes. Wow. And what is the plan? Where are you going to visit? What is the plan on where you're going to visit?
So right now I've made a sail plan all the way up through kind of like Indonesia area. So I plan on going from Bahamas to Panama sometime around November of this coming year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Panama to Galapagos. I'll spend a couple months in Galapagos for the hammerhead migration there. So that'll be around January, February. And then hopefully French Polynesia will open up its borders to pleasure craft by then. Because of COVID, it's still locked down, but hopefully it'll be open. And then I'll do that 35-day sail from Galapagos to the Marquesas, and then explore French Polynesia for a couple months, and then over to Tonga, and then go from there.
This is like a dream. Can you believe this, Carolyn?
I'm thinking about how to get over and spend time and learn some of this free diving before she leaves. And I was going to ask those questions, and then she threw the around the world thing on me.
Oh my God!
So when you're sailing, that's a perfect trolling speed for like dolphin and things. Will you be fishing off the back of the boat?
Yes, yeah. Every time I've just started. So I grew up bass fishing in the pond outside my parents' house from the time I was 3 years old. But when I learned how to free dive, I kind of gave up fishing for spear fishing, because now that I've been under the water, I don't want to be on top of the boat. I want to be hand selecting which of the mahi I shoot. But when we're trolling, it's a perfect opportunity to throw a rod out. So I've really started to learn more about different baits and different trolling speeds and different trolling lengths and different reels and stuff of the trolling world, and just started to dabble, and I'm very bad at it, but I've caught a couple mahi. A couple kingfish, a couple mackerel, a couple blackfin tuna. Nothing super exciting yet, but I still have a lot to learn. So you're welcome to come on board, and you teach me how to fish, and I'll teach you how to free dive.
I would absolutely love to do that. And as a matter of fact, I'm finally feeling stronger, and I would love to know how to get over there and what's the typical time that people stay with you. Yeah. I mean, do people come over for a long weekend? I mean, I've never free dove. I would love to learn how to do that, and we could go out fishing. And I would definitely get to the Bahamas to see you in the next month.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so typically what people do is I've had people stay as short as 4 days and as long as, 20-something days. Wow. What tends to happen is people come on board and then they don't want to leave. So the people I have on board right now were supposed to leave.
I can't imagine why.
And they don't have a flight back yet. So that happens. But typically free diving certification takes 2 days. I like people to spend at least 3 or 4 just so that they can utilize the skills and practice them while they're here. But you can fly wherever you want to. Really, since I have a sailboat, I can meet you anywhere. You can fly into Nassau or Exuma or Long Island or Berries, really anywhere. I meet you there, you jump on board, and then we go out sailing and teach you how to free dive, and we go spearfishing or shark diving or underwater photos or really whatever you're looking to do.
Stephanie. Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm probably going to reach out to you, but it's Shark Week now, and all I can always think about is you and these gorgeous pictures that you have underwater with these tiger sharks and these lemon sharks, and they're just stunning pictures. Any of your underwater photography.
It looks photoshopped, and it is not. I'm telling you right now, it is not. It looks like it's been photoshopped, but it is not photoshopped. There's a one that sticks out in my mind where a tiger shark is coming up. He's like vertical coming up, and she's parallel to him and petting him, literally petting him like you would pet a dog. She's petting and you can tell the shark is enjoying this. It just freaked me out, completely freaked me out. So the other thing that she does is she jumps in the water and then she picks the fish she wants. So if she wants this particular mahi, she goes after that. She doesn't use a line, she uses a spear, and she does it all free dive. I'm telling you, this is amazing, an amazing young lady. Are the Bahamas completely open now?
A funny story too. Yeah, the Bahamas are completely open, and we were recently trolling and caught a mahi, but I lost my gaff, and I didn't have a gaff, so instead I just jumped in the water and full speared it to get it on the boat because it was too big to pull in.
Okay, I'm like seeing this in my mind, you know, like one of the crew. Hey, somebody get the gaff. Oh no, the gaff just fell. Never mind, I got it. Hold my beer. over in the water we go.
But yeah,
amazing.
The Bahamas are completely open now. You do require a PCR test to get into the island. So you take a PCR COVID test within 5 days of travel. If you have a vaccine, it's not required. You can come in with a vaccine. And then once you're here, you take another COVID test day 5 and then an antigen test before you return. But it's not really that challenging. It's pretty easy, and they've made it really convenient to get everything done once you're here.
Well, good. I'm glad it's because I know for a while everything was just locked down, and travel was very restricted. So it's good news that they're opening up and allowing all that to happen again. And some of the pictures that I see you in are, again, people, I'm telling you, some of these pictures are on the Fishing in Florida show on Facebook, but it doesn't do this young lady justice. There's one where she's sitting at I don't know where this piano came from. There's a piano underwater. They're like 20 feet underwater, and she's sitting at the piano. It looks like she's playing the piano. There's pictures there that just there's another one with her was it either an alligator or a crocodile? I couldn't tell, but the thing was bigger than she was, and I doggone sure wouldn't be in the water with it, but she is swimming right alongside of this thing. It is truly amazing. It just shows the spirit that you have, that you're able to do these kind of things and not feel threatened by them, and I guess that they don't feel threatened by you either. And it's almost like a symbiotic relationship. You guys just get along with each other. I've never seen anything like that. And if you think I'm kidding, I don't know if we still have. I guess if you go back far enough on the Facebook page, you'll see there's pictures of her. Is it an alligator or a crocodile?
It's an alligator. And
it is a big son of a gun. I'm telling you, this thing's, what was it, like 12 feet?
That one was about 10 feet and a little over 300 pounds.
Yeah. You want to jump in the water with a 10-foot alligator? Come on. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do something like that. The tiger shark, how long was the tiger shark, Stephanie?
That guy was big. He was probably a 12 to 13 foot.
So I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you guys. This is what she does. This is amazing. Just amazing being. An amazing person.
And you travel with a photographer, correct? Or is he just they're just friends and you guys just do this whole adventure together?
Yeah, I have. I'm really fortunate that a lot of my really close friends are probably the top underwater photographers in the world right now. I actually have Andre Musgrove on board with me. He flew in from Nassau, and he's a local Bahamian kid. He's the one who took both the pictures you were talking about, the underwater piano and the tiger shark, the vertical tiger shark. Really, really talented kid, and he's one of my best friends. So I'm very fortunate that we've done a lot of collaboration and get creative and enjoy the same things, and so he does a lot of traveling around with me.
The pictures are awesome. Kudos to that guy. Kudos for him for being in the water. For him being in the water with you with sharks. Yeah, kudos to whoever that is that's doing it. The pictures themselves are very well done, very professional and very well done.
Stephanie, how would if folks wanted to come and do this wonderful vacation with you, how would they get a hold of you? Like, what's the best way for someone to reach out and get pricing or airports or anything like that?
So the best way is either through social media. My Instagram is Freediver Steph, so just FREEDIVER Steph, STEPH, on Instagram, or you can do freediversteph@gmail.com. Send me an email and I can shoot you over the information. You can also contact me on my Facebook. It's a bit harder to find, but it's Stephanie Lynn. So contact me any of those ways, and then I will get in touch, give you all the pricing, give you all the information, and get you booked.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What is it like an average like a shorter vacation? Is there a ballpark price that people can expect to pay for? Airfare?
Yeah, typically the way that it works on my boat is you get here and then everything's included. I have a professional chef on board. I have a photographer. I do free diving certification. You can borrow all the diving gear, all of the spearfishing gear, all the food, all the drinks. You get your own bedroom, your own bathroom, Wi-Fi, AC, and it's averages about $400 per person per day.
Beautiful.
I think it's pretty neat. You mentioned about the world the world. You want to go around a world thing, and I wanted to ask you about two things. One is, do you have a tracker? Do you have a tracker?
Yes.
Okay.
I do, yes.
And do you have a satellite phone?
I don't have one yet, but I'm going to get one. I have 3 ePerbs and an Iridium Go, which gives you a hotspot, a Wi-Fi hotspot all over the world.
Yeah.
So I actually, when I was planning my circumnavigation, I was going to leave a little bit sooner, but then decided to do a little more prep work. And I've met with multiple people who've already circumnavigated. One guy, since he was 16, has been solo circumnavigating, and he's been around I think 3 or 4 times now. So I've tried to learn as many lessons as I can without experiencing them myself on boat sinking and emergency devices and safety equipment. So at this point, I'm pretty geared up. I'm going to be doing one more trip back to Florida to get new sails because my sails are really old. They're the originals. I'll get a couple more safety equipment items, like a satellite phone and some safety netting around the outside of my boat. An enclosure. I just recently went through my first squall of the season in the Bahamas. So out of nowhere, I had 40-mile-an-hour winds, 12-plus foot waves, in a complete whiteout condition, and my lazy jack broke, and there was so much water. I was wearing my diving mask and a rain jacket, and I had to drive the boat so I didn't surf the swells too fast and nosedive or turn to the side. And now I know I need an enclosure around my cockpit area so I can navigate more safely. So live and learn. But one more trip to Florida to gear up a bit more.
I wish you well, and I'm very excited for your trip. And the reason I ask you about that is get a hold of Carolyn when you before you make any decisions about anything regarding tracking or satellite phones or hotspots. She can take care of all of that for you. And you'll find, I don't think you find anybody better than Carolyn, not just because she's my co-host, but because of her history, that who will make sure that you get what you need, and extremely informative. She's very well educated in the subject. And so before you make a decision, I think it would be, I suggest to you to talk to her. If anything, it'll be more information for you to have before you make a decision. At the very minimal, it'll be more information for you. So anyway.
Definitely. I'll definitely be in touch.
Absolutely. And let me tell you what, that iGo that you have does a lot of things. And if you're not sure of all the functions of it, I'll definitely make sure I email you a cheat sheet, because you Trax, it does weather, it does all kinds of stuff. If you don't know what it does, I'll let you know.
Amazing. Yep. I haven't even dabbled in it yet, so that'll be super helpful.
All right, my dear. Well, we're out of the time on this section, and I am so grateful that you called in, and I'm excited about your. Now, before I go, I have to ask this: how many people are going to go with you when you do this around the world thing?
So I've had, like, this summer, I probably have 20, 25 people coming on board already, and then around the world, I haven't even opened it up yet, but I have 2 people committed who are going to help me crew, and I want to have at least 4 people at all times on the long crossings for shifts to make it safer. So I'll be opening it up here on social media in the near future.
And did I hear you right? It's going to start in November, or you were planning a trip in November?
Yep. Okay, November from Bahamas to Panama.
I'm going to try to get you back on before then so you can give us an update and let us know, what the latest and greatest is and how far along you are. And if you are like I think you are, it's going to go, you've got it written down like a map, and you're just going to follow the map. And whatever day you decide to go, you'll be ready to go on whatever day that is. All right, my friend. I wish you well. I envy you so much for all of the things that you do. And I'm grateful that you took the time to call in. We'll have some more pictures of her up on the Facebook page. It's Stephanie Lynn, Lynn is the last name. And you'll find her on our Facebook page. And we'll put a couple of links up as well. Thank you, Stephanie. I greatly appreciate it. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. Have an awesome day, my dear.
Okay.
Sure. Enjoy those beautiful waters out there. You're in a gorgeous island. So be safe and tight lines.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate both of you having me on today.
God bless.
All right. Bye.
So long. I'll tell you, it's an inspiring, awesome young lady. The more that you find out about her, the more it's just, this is somebody that everybody's younger than me at this point, but the younger ladies can look to for inspiration. This is just, her story is just amazing. Anyway, let me get to my next guest, and that's Captain Neil. Captain Neil is with Ocean 8360, and I wanted Captain Neil to come on and give us an update. And so let's do that. Welcome, Captain Neil. Good morning, my friend.
Hey, Rizkala, good morning. Thanks for having me. And hi to Carolyn as well.
Hi, good morning, Cap.
Hey, good morning. Gosh, isn't that a cool story?
That is just
Lynn has
amazing.
got there?
Oh my goodness! If we had more people, young people like that, for the others to look up to. I don't know if you heard the story, but she worked in the corporate land for all the big corporations, and she decided that wasn't what she wanted. She wanted to live on a boat and own a boat and have her do what you do on a boat. And she's literally living her dream. That's just, and I think she's in her maybe mid-30s. I don't know. How old do you think she is, Carolyn? You're probably better at it than I am.
Yeah, I think she's in her mid-30s, and I'll tell you, if people want to see some stunning photos, go to her Facebook page, and you'll stare at each photo for
It is unbelievable.
several.
Yeah.
They look, like you said, photoshopped her body next to a tiger shark, and they're gorgeous pictures, or bubbles, or underwater standing on sculpture, and it's just and it's spearfishing, huge, amberjacks and things.
Yeah.
Every photo is amazing to look at.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Well, so another amazing thing is Ocean 8360. Why I say that is because they take care of the water. And who wins when we take care of the water? Does it take a rocket scientist to figure that out? There you go. And I'm part of all of us, so I'm excited to have you on and tell us the latest and greatest in the update. And are we doing a ghost trap rodeo coming up?
Rizkala, we've got them coming up, and we've got them just completed as of last week.
Oh, cool.
I mean, we're right in the middle of a robust calendar, and I am so excited to be here today talking to you guys because we just wrapped an event in Key West last week. It was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It was three 4-hour searches, 3 days in a row. And we had 10 participating captains. It was kind of a unique event. Usually, as you know, we partner up with NOAA or with the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, who those two entities are actually supporting our work through the end of 2022. But a completely separate sponsor, a little foundation called the Grassy Creek Foundation, they got in touch with us and they said, hey, we want to fund an event like you guys do, those ghost trap rodeos, and we want it targeting down in Key West, and we want to do something a little bit different. Instead of opening it up to the general public on the weekend, we'd really like to provide some funding directly to working watermen and waterwomen who are commercial operators who are between seasons and could come out and bring their specialized vessels and their local knowledge and do a ghost trap rodeo with you. And we want them to have the same experience with the great prizes and the catered lunch on their search days and everything. And we want them to have the chance to benefit from that. And so we said, okay, that sounds really great. Let's give it a shot. So we did that down at Key West last week, and those 10 captains over the 3 4-hour searches collected 40,000 pounds of trash out of the waterways around Key West, including 822 ghost traps that were jam-packed with something right around 1,000 specimens of adult lobsters and stone crabs that would have died in the cycle of ghost fishing in this ghost gear had they not been live released out of the traps and the traps removed from the watershed. So we are beside ourselves with the haul that we got, and just couldn't be more excited about it.
Wow, can you say how many more live specimens again? Just so I hear that number correctly.
Yeah. It was so across the 822 ghost traps that were collected, we got right around 1,000 specimens of adult lobsters and adult stone crabs.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So when you start to extrapolate that out in terms of the economic cost of what that would be if you went to the market and bought your spiny lobsters or bought some big stone crab claws or whatever, we're talking about a lot of money, as you guys can imagine.
Well, something even more than the money itself. What about how much life you've preserved when
exactly
by doing that?
Yeah. I mean, as you like to say, Riscala, everybody wins, and I guess when I think about the impact of a project like this, the ways that you can look at it are many. You know, there are lots of different facets here. So whether your interest is the animal side and wanting to preserve marine life wherever you can, which is very important to us, like that's one way to look at it. If you're a commercial operator and interested in the economic costs and making sure that you have good returns next season when you go out to fish stone crabs or something like that, then you can look at it this way, you know. It's really interesting, and we're just delighted by the good impact we had down there.
It's like I said, everybody wins. Even the fish and the wildlife win. So how can you not support something like that? I'm glad to hear that it went so well for you guys. Where is the next one going to be, and when?
So on July 17th, we're doing one in Tampa Bay, and this is where we started the event. So it's going to be like a big homecoming sort of thing for us. We're going to make it a big event, and instead of operating out of one site where volunteers gather up at one site for the Saturday surge, this is actually going to be somewhere where we have so many volunteers and so much excitement around the event that we expect to be operating 6 sites simultaneously on July 17th around Tampa Bay. And then on July 24th, we'll be up at Homosassa for the next rodeo after that.
Awesome. Now, I heard that the oyster bed was really having a hard time. Have you heard? Can you give us an update on that? The oyster bed around what do they call it? Around the bend area around the Panhandle?
Oh, I think, are you referring to like where we did our first rodeo this year up in Apalachicola?
That's it. Yeah. Any updates on that?
I have to admit, I'm not aware of the very latest information on that, but I know you'll recall that the state FWC actually closed wild oyster harvesting in Apalachicola Bay for a 5-year period, in the hopes that they can work out the water quality issues and some of the sediment issues and everything, and give the oysters a chance to begin to regenerate there. But I'm not aware of the very latest information. We'll have to contact our mutual friend up there, Jeff Tilley, with Oyster Boss, and see what he says.
Yeah, I was just curious if you had anything on that. Again, everything that Ocean A 360 does that gets involved with, everybody wins. So it's really it's a no-brainer for support in whatever way you can support them. If you can give them $5, give them $5. If 1,000 people out there give them $5, that's $5,000 that they don't have.
And that helps us fund a cleanup. That amount of money, that's right about what we need to do a big cleanup with all the refreshments for everybody and the supplies and the prizes to make sure everybody's feeling real excited about aside from just the mission of the day. Gives us some nice prizes to enhance the competition between groups out there for the day. So
I love what
we
you
really
do.
appreciate it.
I really love what you do because if you recall, one of the first questions I asked you, what do you do with the stuff after you pick it up? Because in my mind, I could see people, okay, well, we clean it up out of the water and then we just stick it in a landfill and let it dirty up the landfill. And the response that you gave me was exactly what I was hoping that you were going to say, is that the stuff that you recover is not just sent to a landfill, but what can be recycled is recycled, and it's recycled with what we were talking about just a few moments ago with regards to the oyster beds. They can rebed an oyster bed, if you will, using the components from these traps. So that, again, everybody wins. It's amazing. The water wins, the oyster wins, right? And if you've got clean water and you got good oysters, we win. The fish win.
That's right. We're well fed. That's right.
It's hard not to support something like that.
Yeah, thank you, Riscala. Thanks for saying so. And maybe your listeners would be interested to know that our materials that we collect, we try to recycle them through two different avenues. The first one is a relationship with Covanta Energy Company. They have a Fishing for Energy sort of initiative that they started over there, where they let us and others bring, plastics and such that they can recycle. And so they take part of our haul. And then we also have a relationship with FWC and with the St. Mary's River Keepers up in Northeast Florida. And what they do is they take a portion of our blue crab trap materials, the wire mesh, with barnacle growth on it and everything, some of that organic matter. We put it, after we pull those blue crab traps out, we put them ashore for about 6 months so that organic material has a chance to die, so there's no cross-contamination or anything like that. And then we hand it over to them, and they actually stake them out in areas where they're trying to recruit larval oysters and bivalves for filtration. And so we help them do that. We've had a chance to revisit some of the oyster pilot reefs that we've contributed trap materials to, and seen with our own eyes the recruitment of larval oysters. It's really remarkable and exciting that we can have some kind of a positive impact through the Ghost Trap Rodeo in that way.
That's awesome. Everybody wins. And I mentioned earlier before you came on how I grew up in Coral Gables, which is inside of Miami, for those who don't know where Coral Gables is. And we had saltwater canals, and we could catch anything in the canal that was in the bay. We could catch it and eat it. The water was clean. We'd swim in the canals. I went back about 4 years ago, and I was very saddened, very heartbroken to see what I saw. Water was just horrible, and they're not being good stewards of the water. And then I thought about, when I think about Ocean Aid 360, how if they had an organization that would make people aware of how important the water is and how everybody wins when you're involved in something like this, maybe it wouldn't have deteriorated to the point that it was. I don't know if it's still like that, but it almost brought a tear to my eye, because it was nothing like it was when I was growing up. Not at all. Not even a glimpse of what it was before. Very, very sad.
Right.
And so, this is why. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is something that you do I hate to say, in your spare time. You actually have an active charter business, right? As far as if people want to go out and go fishing?
Yeah, you're right, Carolyn. As I'm sure you have experience with and well know, these days a lot of people wear a lot of hats. And so, I do. I have my fishing charter company, and I also have a company that I operate that writes federal grant proposals for nonprofits as well. So, three hats.
And that's what's so unique about the fishing community. Obviously I do the tracking business, then I get out and do the charities, then I get out and do the tournament. So, the fact that you do this in your spare time makes it even so much more valuable and important that you find those moments to be able to also do Ocean Aid 360.
Yeah, and I have to admit, it's something that I was thinking about yesterday because we were invited to exhibit our work at this little kind of symposium that was taking place at our brand spanking new St. Pete Pier facility in downtown St. Petersburg yesterday. And our core group it's about 6 people at this point that travel around with us, with Danielle Dawley, my partner on Ocean Aid 360, and myself. At this stage, we travel around as a core group and do these ghost trap rodeos around the state. And these folks, they move their work schedules and family schedules and all of that to be there with us and to participate. And I can promise you, it's not because they're being paid big bucks or anything like that. These folks just care about the mission, and they want to be there, and they want to lend their time and support to make it a successful event and marine debris collection. And that means so much. I think when Danielle and I started Ocean Aid 360 about 4 years ago, it was just the two of us. And if we didn't do a great job that day or whatever it might be, there was nobody calling to say, hey, like, how can I help or anything like that. My point is there was just, you weren't really responsible to anybody else so much. It was just kind of our initiative, and we were beginning the process. But at this point, we've got a core group of people, and it's really starting to snowball. And it feels great to know that you've got a support structure and things are growing. Where we are organizationally today, it's not something that I imagined was possible, but we're there, and Ocean 360 is absolutely growing, and we're receiving some new opportunities to expand our work and marine debris removals, and I feel really great about our 5-year outlook. So I love it, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though I wear 3 hats today, it may very well become 1 hat here in the not too distant future.
Well, it's my hope that 1 hat is for Ocean 360, and that's kind of a selfish thing because I'm part of everybody.
Yeah.
I'm part of everybody, so everybody wins
Yeah.
with Ocean 360. I like that. All right, my friend, we're out of time on this slot, but I want to give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and I'll give you an opportunity. Websites that you want to give out. Let's do that now.
Yeah, please. It's Ocean Aid. That's AID. OceanAid360.org. And want to tell everybody we're at 85,000 pounds of ghost gear. That's stone crab traps, blue crab traps, lobster traps, and plastics and such removed in the last about just under 3 years, and growing quickly. So I hope everybody would take an interest in joining us as a volunteer at OceanAid360.org.
God bless you, my
Perfect.
friend. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Absolutely. And real quick, how would someone get a hold of you for making a charter?
Oh, thanks for asking. That would be gofishtampabay.com. And I had my first charter back after a couple of weeks dedicated to Ocean 360. Just yesterday, had my first charter back, and we put a whooping on about 35 nice snook and some big redfish in the mix as well.
I love it. That's great.
Yep.
Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to share with us this morning, and I wish you an awesome day.
Thanks, Riscala. Thank you, Carolyn. Have a great day, you two.
Tight lines, Cap.
Thanks. Tight lines.
All right. And we're going to go right to our next guest, and that is Mike Simko with kitefishing.com. He's going to give us a lowdown. I think he was fishing yesterday. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning, Riscala. How you guys?
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Excellent. Oh, yeah. So we were fishing yesterday. We were fishing out of Palm Beach in the West Palm Beach Fishing Club KDW tournament. 230 boats, I think. What an awesome event that was.
Wow. So I didn't realize there was 2 events happening at the same time yesterday then, because Carolyn was in the ladies' fish-off.
Yeah, there were. Carolyn, where was that fished out of?
That was fished out of Pompano Beach, Hillsborough Inlet. And, I've always wanted to do that West Palm Beach Fishing Club tournament, but it's the same weekend. But I did send all my my towels and stuff for your goodie bags and goodie buckets. So I was kind of there in spirit. And we didn't do very well. We were on a 61 Viking that happened to have no live well, and the AC was down. But we were toughed it out, got some sailfish, wrong species, but didn't make it to the scales. How'd you guys do?
Oh, man, we had our day was pretty exciting right from the start. We did a little wahoo troll to the north. I had fished with, Carolyn's friends on Real Captivating on Friday morning. We kind of did a little pre-fish. And so we fished to the south. And funny, as luck would have it, we didn't have any luck flying the kites with live bait down on Boynton Beach that day. So kind of eliminated water Friday morning. But while we were fishing, one of our friends was trolling just offshore of us in about 250 feet of water. They hooked and caught a 200-pound yellowfin right off of Lake Worth.
Yeah.
That was Friday morning. So we kind of, again, wrong species. So we thought we eliminated the water for Friday morning. We jumped in my friend's boat Saturday for the tournament. Steve Rizzo, who owns a beautiful 36 Albemarle, kind of an express sporty. We went north, trolled for wahoo, zigzagged all the way to Jupiter Inlet from Palm Beach, about 11 miles. Got a king, got a smaller king, 18 pounds, got a bonita, didn't really make a difference. So we decided to put the kites up right near Jupiter Inlet. 10 minutes into putting the kites in, we got a king, monster king, came out of the water, ate our long kite bait, and fought him for about 15 minutes, got a good shot, got to see him before he took his last run. And that was the run that he got sharked. So we brought in a third of the fish. It weighed 18 pounds with the tail. And we obviously, a mutilated fish doesn't count. 18 pounds wasn't big enough. And the winning fish the winning kingfish was a 36-pounder. So we knew we were close to that. But it was a great story to tell, and fun time, great tournament. One of my friends and clients won 2 divisions of that tournament. He caught the king and the biggest dolphin, Trey Lytle. And so it was a good tournament for him.
It's funny, we were mentioning earlier about going fishing and having a shark come up and eat your fish, and here we are talking about that again. So did you get the back half, or you got the middle? What part of the fish did he get?
Well, somehow the shark, we probably had the shark on for, I want to say 30 minutes of, a total of, a 45-minute fight. We don't know if he was hooked or how this all got crisscrossed backwards, but we ended up with the tail. So once the shark let go of the fish, the hooks either, slid out of his mouth and ended up at the tail of the fish, but we got the tail section.
That's bizarre, right? That's not normal.
Yeah, it was bizarre, but who knows? The attack was. I don't know if he held it in his mouth like a dog and thought, hey, I'm not giving up my prize.
Wow, that's crazy. So, with that in mind, how big do you think the shark was?
Well, it could have been anything. I mean, it's funny. A big shark will tear a fish like that up in about 3 seconds if he wants to. So I really don't understand what happened there, but he was heavy. Obviously we couldn't move him with 20-pound tackle. We had, we were fishing our kite tackle, pretty typical sailfish stuff. It's the same rod and reel that we use for kingfishing. We couldn't budge this fish, so the shark wasn't going to move until he either came unglued or took the whole fish, and that was pretty much the story. Or I think he probably had the shark hooked for a while, and then he shook the hooks, and somehow the last part of the king got the rest of it.
The tuna you were talking about, was that Gino V?
That was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it. That was pretty awesome. 180 pounds. They fought it for like 3 hours, he said.
What a great fish, man! I'll tell you that this is the year. This is the year in Palm Beach where some of the best tuna are coming through.
I don't recall fish that large coming. He wasn't in deep water. That's the other thing. He said for 150 feet or something, right?
Right.
I just don't recall.
He was just off our bow, which we were at the time we were in 150 feet, so I really don't know how deep he was precisely, but we saw those pictures that morning and couldn't believe it.
Wow. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was just going to say it's amazing after a 3-hour fight that thing didn't get sharked, a little bit of it. It's the vibration of that fish going through the water, but I would love to get a slab of that thing.
Wow, I know. The sharks certainly wouldn't be afraid to take the tail off of that thing and then take the rest. But the good thing about big tuna, in my experience, when we hook them here, they run east and they go out into deep water, which most of our sharks are kind of on the reef. So if you get past 250, you can get luckier as far as catching the fish that you hook.
Wow. Yeah, it was a beautiful fish. Oh my gosh. So was that done on a charter, or was that actually Gino that caught it? That I
don't know. That part I don't know. I didn't get all those details.
Yeah. So what do you think, when you catch a fish like that, what would you do with it? Do you sell it? Are you allowed to sell it?
No.
Maybe you're not allowed to sell it.
Well, I don't have the licenses to sell it. So, if we catch that fish in particular, you got the right licenses, obviously the highly migratory species permits, and you've got the right time of year, you keep those fish. We're going to carve it up and give it to some of our friends and eat fresh what we can and freeze the rest.
You bet your bottom. Yummy, yummy. That's a lot of fish. So that's another question. How do you like to store fish? If you know you're not going to be able to utilize it quickly, how do you long-term store fish?
Well, we're everybody I know in this that kind of fishes, seriously, has invested in a vacuum sealer of some sort. Most of them are those food savers. That's the popular brand out there for recreational use. I ended up investing in a VacMaster an oil-based motor that is just bulletproof. It's a chamber sealer, so it uses atmospheric pressure to seal the bags. You can use heavier bags because the sealing mechanism is pretty sophisticated. It's got a double bar of sealing, and for $1,000, I ended up with a chamber sealer that does such a magnificent job. So we do all of our game with that. Venison, swordfish, whatever. You get some bigger fish that you obviously can't eat or give away enough of it. That's what we do. And I've got a big chest freezer that we store that meat in, and it's good for a long time.
Where do you think the typical lifespan? A couple of months? 6 months?
I tell you what, you're not going to believe it, but we've taken fish out that's 8-9 months in there, and it tastes as good as the day we caught it.
Wow.
We obviously it depends on the species. There's certain oily fish like kingfish, let's say. I don't really like ever freezing kingfish, regardless of how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
The oils separate from the meat. The texture changes. But some of the fish that we catch, particularly snapper and grouper. I mean, God, that stuff lasts for a long time. It tastes great.
Wow. So vacuum sealing is your preferred way then?
Absolutely. Get all the air out. Really care for the fish when you catch it. So in other words, it's like anything. If you feed a fish for a very, very long time, they build up acids in the flesh, and that's not a really good thing. But if you catch a fish pretty quickly, we put it on ice. Even better is to put it in the salt slurry. So sometimes we'll pour a little salt water in the ice and take that, dip the fish in there, keep them there all day, fillet them up really good. And the minute you fillet them, don't use fresh water in that mix. I find that fresh water changes a little bit of the taste. Fresh water, in fact, takes some of the juice of the fish, and through diffusion and osmosis, the juice will come from the fish into the fresh water, as opposed to salt water, which keeps that juice of the fish in the meat. And then once you get home, man, always keep that fish cold, get it vacuum sealed and frozen as soon as possible.
Wow.
Well, and you know what? We haven't even asked you a question. Did you mention if you flew some kites yesterday?
Yeah, we did. I'll tell you what, in the KDW, once you figure out where the fish are, I mean, throwing the kite up is a fantastic thing. And we, like I said, with that big king, you should have seen the bite. It came up and rolled on our long bait, which really wasn't that long. I was fishing two baits off of that kite. And he came up and rolled, and the white water and the wave that happened around it, man, it was just, you just knew you had something really good on. So it's exciting, and I love kite fishing. We had baits deep. When we fish for kings, we'll fish everything from the bottom. We happen to be in 100 feet of water, so a bottom bait, a mid-depth bait, 2 kite baits, and then a slew of other things that we'll just kind of pitch out. Yeah, great time fishing the kite yesterday. I fished a pearl kite. There's a prototype that he was letting me fly that, I'm a big fan of pearl kites. So Pearl made up a special little kite it's a little smaller in dimension than the kites you'll see. It's actually something in between the SFE kind of dimension and the old Bob Lewis kite dimensions. Man, great flying kite. Had some fun with that yesterday.
Cool.
I bet it gets pretty exciting when you see the fish roll like that, like you're describing. Or holy smokes! I know that when there were times I never got to do kite fishing. I was, of course, this was many years ago, and I always the ignorant part of me always thought, using a kite, what good does that do? But I can remember times when we were trolling, and this one particular time, the motor, I had an inboard outboard, and made a couple of funny noises, a couple of funny clicks, and I didn't like it. So we were pulling along. I just put the motor in neutral. I put the gears in neutral, and I turn the engine off and open up the boxes. I'm looking in there to see where that noise may be coming from. Out there, maybe 100 feet, I don't even think it was that far, behind the boat where we were pulling, I saw the roll, and it was amazing. I went from being concerned about what the noise from the engine was to, holy smokes, we got something really big going on. And before it was all over, we had two on at the same time, two big bulls on at the same time. And that day was a day that I'll never forget. It was one of the greatest fishing experiences I've ever had. Yeah, so when you described about the roll, that's what that reminded me of, that day that we had that the double whammy. And it turned out that what was going on with the noise I was hearing is the air filter had become loose, and it was clanging back and forth, and I couldn't figure it out until we got the fish in, because I wasn't going to mess with it until we got the fish in.
Yeah, you never forget that visual. I mean, you just started telling that story, and I started remembering all the great fights I've gotten on kites, and wahoo airing out, and kingfish airing out, and just skyrocketing a really big jumbo runner that we had on a short bait. It's crazy cool.
Just kind of, I realize how much I missed out, but when I have the opportunity now, I will most certainly utilize the advantage of having a kite. I'll have somebody who knows how to handle it, and we'll utilize that. Anyway, we're out of time on this slot, but I want to say thank you, Mike. I greatly appreciate it. Kitefishing.com. You can find more information there. Where else can they find information about it, Mike?
Well, you can always find me on Facebook. My regular Facebook page is Mike Simko, and my kite fishing page is Kite Fishing Experts Mike Simko. And I really love to help people that are just getting into the sport of fishing and kite fishing. So feel free to call and ask any questions you like, and I'll help direct you in the right way.
God bless you, my friend. I wish you an awesome day. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mike, I was able to fish with Florida Salty Cowgirl yesterday. She's on the Pink Ladies team now, and we talked about you a lot yesterday. We almost crashed you to get a little lesson, but we will crash you soon.
I can't wait. All right, Carolyn, that's great. I'm glad I could hook you up with Curtis this week, too, and that was great. That'll be a great one for you guys.
Oh, absolutely. We made some of the video yesterday, so we're going to pass it along to him.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you, Mike. Greatly appreciate it, my friend. Again, it's Mike Simko. He's with kitefishing.com. You can find him online. Wish you an awesome day, my friend.
You too. Thanks.
All right. All right, Miss Carolyn, I'm going to let you introduce our next guest.
Sure, absolutely. So this next guest is Bobby. He's the director of programs for the Flight Center, which is what we raised money for this weekend for the Ladies Fish Off. So I had the opportunity of talking about his programs a little bit. They help the kids through the foster system get out in the real world with job skills and housing and all the things that are needed to get out in the society. So welcome to the show, Bobby.
Good morning, y'all. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we can hear you pretty well there. So tell us a little bit more about your organization.
All right. Well, what we do at the Flight Center stands for the Fort Lauderdale Independence Training and Education Center. So, they were created back in 2009. And basically there was a gap where youth were aging out of foster care, and some youth, instead of going to actual programs or finding apartments, things like that, they were going into homeless shelters. So at this point, it was decided that, a lot of different people got together to discuss it, to figure out where the shortcomings were and how to put something together for the kids. And they ended up coming up with the Flight Center. And again, we do help youth that age out of foster care. We assist them with finding affordable housing. So if that's Section 8, it might be some homeless housing programs that we may find, TIL, which is Transition to Independent Living Housing, and as well their own apartments that are affordable. So we do get some tax credit properties that come from the county or different properties that we may come across where the youth are paying less than the normal rent, because again they're coming out of foster care. They don't have the jobs per se that would be something that could afford them to pay $1,000 to, $1,500, because Broward County, we all know is pretty expensive to live here. So, the kids are, they'll have a hard time doing that. As well at the Flight Center, we also assist youth with completing their GEDs, with enrolling in college, and then we find them the supports at the college. Broward College is really good with working with our youth. They come to our office. We do Zooms with them. We do some Broward Up programs, which is a certification program, and we had a lot of kids go through the Broward Up program over the pandemic because it was so accessible via Zoom and things like that. So, they were doing the online certifications and being able to just, help themselves to find jobs that were more conducive to be able to pay a rent price and keep themselves afloat. We also help youth with, again, as Carolyn said, with the employability skills. So what we'll do is we'll work with the kids on how to find jobs. We'll help them with how to maintain their jobs, which is really the key. Because, if you don't have the experience of walking into an employment to an agency or something like that and saying, hey, you know what, I know how to do this. I can build a relationship with, not only the staff there, but, my manager. I understand how to follow directions. It's pretty tough. So, we work with our youth on that, because it's a vital part of, not only maintaining a job, but moving up in employment and getting, a better paying job. So we continue to work with them on those things. We also help them to improve their resumes. We have Career Source Broward there as well that help with that, with the resumes and continuously help them throughout their lives if that's what they need. That's really obviously an important part. Then we also have a wellness program. Now, our wellness program, everybody has some type of trauma that they went through in their lives. So they do have certain mental blocks that may prevent them from moving from one stage of their life to the next stage. So our wellness program is just that. We bring the youth in, we talk to them about the different things that are going on with them, and we try to connect them with the different agencies or different people, because it doesn't necessarily have to be an agency. It could be, a family member. It could be a friend. It could be just someone that you encountered in your past that made a difference to you, that will help you to think about things more and that you're comfortable living with. Everyone wants to belong to something. You have your fishing clubs. You have those different type of things. And, you have sororities and fraternities. And a lot of these youth aren't used to belonging to something. Their families, they've been split up for a while.
Yeah.
But the wellness portion tries to get them back connected to something to help them feel better and feel whole. I know when youth come into our program, some of them you can tell they've been around a lot and it's been tough. But, after a couple of days of seeing them, you kind of see the changes in them. You kind of see a little bit more confidence built up. They feel a lot better because they have someone that they really trust, that they know is going to try to do everything they can for them, and their attitudes change, the body language changes. And, it's just a beautiful thing to see them start to put a smile on when they see you, and it really makes a difference, not only in their lives, but in our lives as well. Because I know when I see kids that are making those changes and they smile, it's just a beautiful thing. And Broward Health is actually helping us to support opening a clinic in our program, so the youth can get not only the mental health aspect, they can also get the physical health. Some of the youth have children, and they may have only went to the doctors just to have the baby. And then from there, what's the next step in the healthcare? Do you continuously go and get checkups, not only for your baby, but for yourself? So the clinic will be there just for that, for us to, get the youth checked out and then connect them out to other services if they need, whether it's dental, again, and physical health. We'll be able to do all those things because it's, again, a vital portion of staying healthy, of living your life, in a really, really good way. We had an event yesterday where we did HIV testing. We did some what is it, like hand-to-hand combat stuff? Not really combat, but protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm. A self-defense
we did
course.
Some yoga, self-defense. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. We also did some yoga. The kids were able to
That's
go
pretty cool.
around and do different. I'm sorry.
That's pretty cool. You did yoga too. That's cool. Yeah, I love that.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, I was going to say real quick, what was so awesome about the event and working with Bobby is that he had some of the kids come out and work the weigh in and haul fish and get a feel for what it's like to be around the fishing community. They volunteered and helped setting up and taking down things.
Wow.
So, you know, it was really great to have the kids out there and young adults that were actually, you know, getting in touch with and seeing what's involved with fishing and hopefully catching the fishing bug a little bit too. And Bobby, I think you caught the bug a little bit too.
I really did, actually. I mean, I'm not a big, you know, I don't go out fishing very much at all. But I would love to start, you know. I was telling you about feeding the fish out in the Keys when I was on the boat. That's about as well as I did. However, you know, just that experience, you know, made me want to do it again. And just seeing, you know, the fish that you guys were hauling in yesterday, that was amazing. You know, that was some big fish you guys brought in.
Yeah. In fishing, in my life's experience, was kind of the way our family was kind of sort of the glue that helped our family stay together, because there is such an attack on the family. And later on in years, I got involved in the foster parent program, and I was married at the time. We did the foster parent program for almost 10 years, and throughout that time, we adopted 7 children. So my experience in it was on the other end. We were dealing with very young children. The children that we adopted were mostly infants. Well, not really infants, toddlers. That there was just no hope for their parents. So they ended up relinquishing their rights and putting the children up for adoption. And during the time that I was a foster parent, that was unheard of. So there was some really things really moving during that period. Some of the children that we fostered, some of the older children that we fostered, were very, what's the word I'm looking for, had a very difficult time trusting anybody. Their world had been pulled out from under them repeatedly. And so when I hear about something like this, again, we talked earlier with Captain Neil from Ocean 8 and we were discussing how Ocean 8 what they do in cleaning the water, the result of that is everybody wins when they do what they do. And the result of a successful foster program that can take these children and move them from the program into real life is going to benefit everybody. It's going to benefit society, because if they can't get the proper guidance, I guess is the best word, if they can't get the right kind of guidance, they're going to go the wrong way. And if they go the wrong way, then they'll become criminals. And what is a criminal? A criminal is a burden upon the society instead of a blessing upon society. And many of these kids can be a tremendous blessing upon society. Many times people who go through a difficult experience, when they meet someone else who has a similar experience, they can easily relate to each other, and they can help each other. So when I heard about what they were doing and what you guys do, I thought, you know, I asked Carolyn, please, you know, let's get them on. Let's talk a little bit about this, and let's get people to know, you know, what it is and what they do. And I'm very honored to have you on, and I'm very pleased that there are people doing what you do, because those children are in desperate need. I wasn't involved with the older children so much. There were very short periods with the older children, maybe a week, a couple of days, where I had teenagers. But the younger children that we had, those were longer periods. Those were months, and then it translated into years, and then eventually, of all of them, some of them were adopted. So I'm grateful that you're able to do that. I have witnessed personally one who came from the foster parent program and never seemingly slipped through the cracks, if you will, never really got the training or anything, grew up to be a young man and was just a burden on everybody. He got into the drugs, breaking into homes, stealing things. His name was commonly spoken among the neighborhood police, that kind of thing. So when I hear about you, I see the opposite side of that. I see the side where, you know, the children are guided in the correct direction. They become a blessing to everybody else instead of the you know, like this particular person was. So thank you for what you do. I greatly appreciate it. Again, I want to get, what is the name of the organization?
The Flight Center, FLITE Center.
And is there a website?
Yes, it is flightcenter.org. And we have all of the events that we do on there, all the different, the different programs that we offer. Everything's there. It's awesome. Going to work every day, we have a great time. Even the staff are like family. We all pull together because we're dealing with traumatic, incidents with the youth, and we have to make sure that we're also well in dealing with all of that as well. So, and I thank you so much for being able to help some kids, because it takes a really good family to try to help youth to get on the right path. Like you said, they've been torn away from their own families.
Yeah.
And they just need somebody to love them.
It's sad. I experienced, in my experience of doing it, I know people, personally in my life, people who were just doing everything they could possibly to have a child and could not. And then I'm witnessing the opposite of that. People have children just literally popping kids out every year. I know of one individual who popped out a child every year for 19 years. 19 children. It is really sad. Again, when you think about the people they're so desperately trying to have their own child and they can't, and then you have the opposite, where they're having children and they're just literally tossing them aside, and having them put into the foster care program. And what I saw from that is that creates a cycle, a chain, if you will. And the chain needs to be broken. And what you're doing is breaking that chain. So again, everybody wins in this. We all win in this thing. Society, anything that society wins in, guess what? I'm part of society. You're part of society. We all win in this. So to support the Flight Center in whatever way you can, that would be awesome, because there's something that, you said, we brought up the financial part of this, but there's something about helping somebody that you can't put money on, knowing that you've done something for them that's going to help them possibly for the rest of their life. You can't put money on that. That's
Absolutely.
just, there's no price. And so when
Absolutely.
you're involved in some way of helping these people, just remember that you're helping change lives for the better. Anybody can change a life, but change a life for a better. That's where the challenge is today. So you work with once they're out of, do they have to be out of the foster care before you can work with them, or do you pre-work with them, knowing that they're going to get out, say in a couple of months? Their 18th birthday's coming up in 6 months or something. Do you work with them then, or do they have to be out of the system?
No, the whole process actually begins at 15, 16 years old, when the youth were able to connect them with a life coach.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then, so at that point, the life coaches are able to take youth out just to let them see the different places the possibilities where they could live. They help them to, continue their education, to start to get those the different information about what do you want to do for a career. They bring them to the Flight Center. We teach them life skills. We just, whatever we can do at that point once they connected to a life coach, that's what we start to do with them, to get the skills, the personality, the communication skills that they need, because at a certain point in time, you're going to have to be able to advocate for yourself.
Amen.
Rather than have someone else speak up for you. So we're teaching them the communication skills and how to build relationships. Again, when you continually move from place to place to place to place, you don't build a bond. You don't build those different things that you need in life. So we're trying to teach them those things, and we want to be a consistent thing in their life rather than just, Flight Center is going to be here, so you guys come here. Mr. Bobby's here. Ms. Carr's here. The whole team, is here working with you. We're just doing whatever we can and to help this youth grow and just to teach them about life and even about our lives. We share our personal experiences because we've gone through some of the same things. Some staff have gone through some of the same things that these youth have gone through.
Well, that's what like I said earlier. When you have somebody who shares a similar experience, they can relate to each other in many cases much easier than somebody who walks in, who carries a title of some sort but has never experienced what they're talking about. In comparison, the person who has experienced something similar to what they're talking about, there's a great deal of compassion there that can come forward. That they know that it's from their heart because they've been through it. So again, you're verifying what I'm saying. So if we can get
Absolutely.
these kids on the right path, they can help other kids as they grow up. Because it's a sad truth that in our society that we're, you think about it, we're a disposable society. We want to be, if it doesn't work, throw it away, buy a new one. And sadly, there are people who think of that in terms of children. I know that that people think I'm exaggerating, but I've lived this and I know it. They really, they just don't have the compassion for children that many of us have. And even though they've birthed these children, they're willing to give them up as though they were, well, it's a pair of shoes. I don't need these anymore. I'll go get another pair. And I know people may think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. There are people who think along this line. So if we could get children who have been down this path, who come up and become successful, they can help other children. Inevitably, there's going to be more children. The only way I ever see stopping any of that is to properly educate everybody. Well, that's going to take a long time to do that. So in the meantime, we're going to have kids coming up in throughout this. I didn't realize you got involved with them so early. I'm grateful for that. Wow. Because, by the time they're 18, they're pretty much fixed. Their mind is pretty much fixed. It's so hard they're a young adult, and it's that much more difficult at that point to try to create the relationship, to try to get them to trust people again, to try to get them to want to be part of society, because society is literally peed on them, if you'll excuse the expression. They're just secondhand. So that's great that you get with them earlier like that and get them a guide and get them a coach. That's awesome. Flight Center. Now, is Center CENTER?
Yes, sir.
So it's FLITECENTER dot what?
Org.
.org. FLITECENTER.org. FlightCenter.org. Go there and help them. Be blessed by helping these people, because that's what's going to happen. That's the way that I look at it. By blessing these people, I'm going to be blessed. So, hopefully other people think along that line. We help each other. That's really what it boils down to. When it all is said and done, I've said this many times. There's not one person that can do everything, but everybody together, we can do anything. Once we work with each other, we can do anything. And that's one of the greatest gifts that I see here in the fishing community. They're constantly giving back, over and over and over. And for me, it's an honor and a privilege to be a fraction of just a minute, microscopic fraction of that. Knowing all of the positive things that come out from the fishing community, anything I can do to help support it. And Flight Center, you guys are awesome. God bless you, man.
And I have a quick question for you, Bobby. If somebody wants to volunteer and come help you guys work, just public. Like if I wanted to come volunteer, you take volunteers, right?
Yes, we do.
So just how would they reach out to you? People that locally want to help, how would they reach out to you?
You can go on our website as well, and the volunteer information will be there. And you can sign up, for whatever events that we may have. Since everything is starting to open up now, we're starting to do a little bit more, a few more things back at the office. We're doing our graduation photos, because some of the GED students and some of the college students that may have gotten their associate's degree or certification, they didn't get graduate photos. So we're doing graduate photos for our cool. annual graduation. And that way we could, we'll be able to present them with a photo and acknowledge them for the accomplishment, because, a lot of them, if they struggled, they worked hard, they did everything that a normal student would do, plus, and we're going to do that over the next couple of weeks. So we do have events for that. Yeah, we have an event for the staff that, there are superheroes for all of the system of care that we honor the staff. That's the luncheon that's going to happen. I believe it's in October. Those different things. We look for gift cards for incentives for youth, again, that graduate, youth that are aging out, that may need different things for their homes. We try to give them a startup basket once they move out, into their own place, with pots and pans and towels and sheets and stuff like that. We do a lot of different things just to make sure that the kids it's normal, it's a normal thing for them.
Yeah.
And we certainly take the donations of those items. Again, I'll point to the website because it does have the information as well. Carolyn, you have my information, so if you know anyone that needs a little bit more direction, you can have them give me a call. Just whatever you can help with, we are so happy to receive. The youth, they would be ecstatic as well, because when you see someone that says, hey, I need some dishes, I don't have any dishes, and you give them a set of dishes, and it just really changes their life, because that's one less thing that they have to worry about, trying to get into their house. Because again, they're not making, $18 an hour, to live on their own.
Yeah.
A lot of the kids, they're making, anywhere from the minimum wage to maybe $12 an hour, so anything that you give would really, really go a long way to helping you.
That's awesome. Carolyn, do you have the contact? Who was it? I think it was the Palm Beach Fishing Club. I think it was, right? It was offering the fishing rods for kids.
Yeah, actually, West Palm Beach Fishing Club, and I'll reach out to Tom Busba and find out about that. And we're certainly excited to give you the awards check when we do the awards and presentation for your program too. And appreciate you having you on, Bobby. That was great help over the weekend.
Oh, you know what? I think I had more fun as well.
Bobby saw. Oh, by the way, group. Yeah. By the way, Bobby saw the bait dance off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw that bait dance off, and it was not only was it enjoyable to watch, it was fun. It was funny. Some of the things that the dances they came up with, were really, really, they were creative. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool.
I love it. Well, Bobby, thank you for what you do, and I wish you an awesome day, my friend. We are out of time on this slot, and I want to give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and we'll move on. Again, I wish you an awesome day, and thank you for what you do.
You as well. Thank you.
Bobby, happy Sunday, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Carolyn. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
All right. God bless. All right, we have our anchor lady, and I think she's in transit on her way back home down into the Keys. And, of course, I'm talking about the one and only Florida Salty Cowgirl. Good morning, my dear. She's got her phone on mute.
Hi, Angela.
There she is.
How's everybody doing this morning?
We're doing great. I'm missing you already.
I know, right? We had a very eventful weekend, and Bobby is just a lovely man, and I just thoroughly enjoyed hearing what he does for the children. So God bless him.
You're in and out, my dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm traveling, so I apologize if my connection is bad.
Yeah.
So tell Riscala our little fishing venture we had yesterday.
Yesterday we did the 35th annual Ladies Fish Off there in Pompano Beach, and we had a wonderful day. Our group of Pink Lady anglers is just a group of the most fabulous women I've ever had the pleasure of spending time with. I think I'm in love with all of them. And we had a wonderful day. We did not make the scales again, but we did everything in our power to try. We caught one nice bonita at the beginning of the day that Carolyn handled like a champ. And then our lovely Carol from Mermaid Vodka, she hooked into a sailfish and also did a fantastic job getting that sailfish to the boat. Unfortunately, sailfish were not a category in the tournament yesterday, so but we had a great time. We were on a 61-foot Viking that was donated to us for the tournament, and we had a very tired captain who also worked with us.
I heard when you mentioned captain, I heard someone that we both know and love dearly had the seat of the helm, if you will, for a while there.
I was going to say our captain has a full-time job, and it was very tired yesterday. It was gracious enough to donate the 61-foot Viking, which is just a lovely boat. And I told him at any time, I'd be happy to take the helm for him. And I did for a couple hours, and that's always so enjoyable to me. And new waters, new boats, that's always a good time for me. Beautiful, beautiful boat. I've not been at the helm of a boat exactly like that, so it was a great time. And it was a little bit bouncy on the seas, which made it just kind of more fun for me. I know that that's not great because one of our girls was very sick for a while. But it's really fun to feel how a boat handles in has it back for.
Carolyn, I want to ask you. You're fading in and out, but I got most of it, Angelia.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet, Carolyn, that when she was sitting behind the helm, if you will, there was a big smile ear to ear. Am I right or wrong?
I can tell you that there was a huge smile ear to ear, and we wear iridescent pink tank tops, so that reflected off of her skin even more. So, and the wind was definitely blowing. It was definitely a little bit rocky, but she had the control of the helm and the radio volume, so that kind of worked out well. And, you know, like she mentioned, we had one girl with seasick, one girl fell and hit her head, and the other girl actually slept on the sofa all day. So it left the angling up to pretty much Carol, myself, and Angela.
Which we don't mind at all.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just envisioning in my mind her sitting behind, sitting there at the helm, with the controls in hand, with this big smile, her sunglasses on, and this big smile ear to ear, and didn't matter whether she caught anything or not. She's sitting at the helm. She's there in control.
Well, lucky for you, I have photos and proof, so I'll post those out for everybody to see what an ear-to-ear smile is like.
And the puppies.
You guys know that's my happy place. You guys know
I
that.
know it. I know. So where's the puppies at?
Well, believe it or not, yesterday was the very first day that I separated from my little partner, and we have been hip to hip since the day that I got her. And Carolyn has a beautiful little Maltese puppy that they stayed together yesterday and became the best of friends.
Cool.
Oh, became the best of friends. It's absolutely adorable.
Neat.
And yes, she did just fine and was very happy to see her mommy when she got back. So that's the first day that I have not taken her on the boat. I knew it'd be a long day, and I'm glad I did it because it was very rough out there.
Oh, boy.
And, but yes, puppy's doing great. Puppy's swimming like a little fish, and yeah, all good things for the puppy. She's my new first mate training, and she's doing a fantastic job. So,
and as a matter of fact, when Angela got here, we put her little life jacket on and put her in for a night swim. So I've got that video. We'll upload that, and she had some pretty good daycare around the house. Chris took some pretty good care of all the puppies. I think she was on his desk for a while. So.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I was getting like hourly picture text. Sorry, of proof of life on the puppy. So that's the first time I'd been away, so I think I was more anxiety-stricken than the baby. So yeah, I'm getting these hourly proof of life texts from him. So he was very helpful. But I wanted to kind of add in about the tournament yesterday. Not only was it lovely to meet Bobby and hear about what he does with the children, but Carolyn and I stumbled upon several young ladies that were very young and just cute as could absolutely be. One I'm absolutely in love with, little Grace, and they want to be pink ladies. So I'm going to try to get a bunch of these little girls together and get them to go out and teach them how to bake hooks and how to run lines while they're nice and young. We're talking like a little 11, 12-year-old girls. And I would love to get these little girls knowing that they can get on the water and do anything they want to do. I would love to inspire them to be anglers, to be captains, to be mariners, in whatever way they see fit. But when they're that young and they have the passion for it, I just want to get a hold of them and mold them. So the ladies, the camaraderie at the weigh-in was just fantastic. There was some good fish caught. Very proud of the ladies yesterday, but it was just so cute seeing these groups of ladies teams, all in matching clothes and having a great time, and these little girls that were all excited and can't wait to get involved, and it was just a really, really wonderful event. Those the fishing tournaments in our state are such a wonderful way to get the camaraderie amongst the marine community, and these particular ladies tournaments are really, really fun to get the ladies together that have all common interests and kind of like-minded, and just a really wonderful time. They did a great job with this tournament. The weigh-in was really fun. It was just fun to be there. It was fun to watch. Got introduced to a lot of really wonderful people through Carolyn, and it was a wonderful weekend. I mean, I couldn't think of anything better unless we actually made the scales.
It's one of those things where everybody wins. How can you not be happy?
Absolutely. It was just a really, really nice event. So I'll be looking forward to the next ladies tournament because it really doesn't get any better than that for camaraderie amongst the female anglers that are passionate about what they do. Like I said, a couple of these little girls like so anxious to take them under my wing and teach them how to do what they want to do and let them know that they're capable of doing whatever they choose to do on the water.
And,
the world
yeah.
is not, it's not a man's world anymore in that department. So these girls need to understand that nice and young.
And it was pretty amazing when little Gracie came up and she's like, next year, can I be a pink lady? And Rascala, we told her, you can be a pink lady now.
Oh,
So
my
that was
gosh.
really, really cool. And I have to tell you, Angela, we had Mike Simko on the phone a little bit ago, and he said, don't keep working on your girls' videos. So we'll give you information on that, Rascala, when that could be released. But we got something fun in the works, and told him that we fished together yesterday too. But they got whacked. Big kingfish sharked them in a tournament they were in, and they ended up with a tail. Go figure.
Oh man, isn't that just the look?
Just the tail, not even the head.
Yeah, that's so bizarre that they end up with it's usually the head just behind the gills is what you end up with. It's so weird that they end up with the tail. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Somehow those sharks and barracuda know to bite them off right behind the gills, so they take every piece of viable meat and leave you with a head because that's typically where they're hooked. So ending up with a tail is quite odd.
Yeah, that's just bizarre.
Very
oh
bizarre.
My goodness. All right, well, go ahead. I'll give you a minute.
Little Gracie that we were talking about that we so fell in love with. She's absolutely beautiful too. She looks like a little Pittsburgh Shield. There was actually a PV angler division in that ladies fish off yesterday, and had we known that she was so ambitious, we'd have thrown a pink lady shirt on her, and she could have been our PV angler yesterday. So in the future, we've got a little PV angler to add to our ladies team. So that's kind of exciting. It's kind of fun.
Oh, I absolutely think so. And that little girl volunteered at every single event because her mother's part of the committee as well, takes the photographs. So she was kind of the sidekick, and she worked so hard. I mean, through the silent auction, through the weigh-in yesterday, she was bringing people drinks. I mean, she was a good girl. So little Gracie has definitely be on board. And Angela, we'll have to get ready for the next tournament. I mean, Carol Strickland, Mermaid Vodka, did a great job. And like I said, we had 2 girls down. So, that was kind of worked out.
And Rascala, one of the things I love about this little girl so much is she has the eternal, pasted, beautiful smile.
Say it again.
Working all weekend long, she worked her little butt off in the heat with her mom, and the whole time that smile never left her face, and that just warmed my heart.
Wow. That
so,
is awesome.
Yeah, it's really great time. It's a Pink Ladies Rock because we have a really wonderful team. Like I said, I'm in love with all the ladies. What a wonderful, wonderful group of women we had on the boat yesterday. I couldn't have enjoyed myself more. Fish or no fish. It was just a really, really great day.
Awesome, Ange. That's Angela. So awesome. Drive safe. I know you have a long drive across the coast, and glad you could at least call in.
Are you going back to the Keys?
I'm actually going back to the Keys via Tampa. So
via Tampa.
Yeah, figure that one out.
That's a long way.
I'm going back to Tampa to just visit some family and my close loved ones real quick, and then I have to be back in the Keys tomorrow to pick up another boat that I bought. So I must let it for punishment.
Well, safe travels, my dear, and you can, if you want to find out more about the Florida Salty Cowgirl, you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, all the goodie places. The Florida Salty Cowgirl. And have you got the website up, or still we're
You
fighting?
know what? It is absolutely working. You should. I keep saying this, and I've been saying it since the beginning of the year, but we've got everything back up and formatted, and I'm just changing around some pictures, and it should only be about another week, and I will make a giant announcement and do a big vlog the moment it goes live. So by next week, I am praying that it will be up and live, and I'll have a new vlog telling you about everything that's transpired, lately, and it'll be a lot of fun. The vlogging is sort of like my diary.
All right, we're out of time. God bless you, my dear. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you next week. Miss Carolyn, God bless you. Thank you for taking the time to be the co-host this morning, and I'll give you an opportunity real quickly to say goodbye to Miss Florida Salty Cowgirl there, and we're out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how that time went by so fast, but Angela, have a great drive, and we'll talk to you later. Check in later.
You got it, girl. I love you.
Love you too.